Hey everyone, welcome back to Unsolicited Bourbon Reviews, episode 64, and today we will be reviewing Sagamore Spirit Double Oaked Rye. So I know I did tease a potential first time Friday with another product, but as the weather is changing, is cooling off, and is now becoming leather jacket weather, with leather jacket weather, you start breaking out the ryes. We haven't done too many ryes previous to this. I think this is, again, the beginning of the season, and when it's much cooler out, it's getting cold, ryes are pretty nice to sip on. So we'll talk about this, kind of some David facts for you. So this is Sagamore Spirit. They are out of Baltimore, Maryland. They are in the Port Covington part of town, right there near Inner Harbor. So the kind of how the Sagamore Spirit came to be in 2013, Kevin Plank, I'm sure you heard that name before. That is the founder of Under Armour and Ultimate Maryland Man. He bought some land on the Sagamore farm, which is about 293 acres of land, with the intention of breeding racehorses, particularly breeding championship racehorses out of Maryland, with the intent to eventually win the Triple Crown. So he has since been able to accomplish that, but I'm sure in the near future we'll start seeing some Under Armour horses in the Kentucky Derby. So let's do a little timeout on that. Let's just think about that. Think about an Under Armour horse in the Kentucky Derby. You have horse coming in all dripped out in like 17 armbands, sweatbands. Their face shield is like the Maryland flag visor. It's going to be the most outrageous and awesome horse get up with their jockey. They're going to be the best dressed, best looking horses. Win, lose, or draw, they're definitely going to win that category. So I can't wait to see that. And again, it's this pretty cool concept of, having fuck you money and just, breeding your own racehorses. So, with that endeavor, again, they purchased some real estate in Baltimore, which is the distillery, which is in the Port Covington area part of town. Huge, massive distillery. I've seen the pictures of it. It looks awesome. But they started this in 2013, 2014, and they've been MGP sourced. So we talked a lot about MGPs, and a lot of stuff we do is MGP. They're just now getting to the point where they can produce enough to where they have their own distillate. So with this double oaked, they have their locally sourced stuff. So it's about 95% rye, 5% barley, and then they're taking MGP sourced already, it's already procured, and finishing it in another oak barrel, hence the double oaked. So they're taking stuff they procure, taking their in-house stuff and making it an in-house product or a finished product. So, so this is a 96 proof. It's won a bunch of awards. So I think it says the double oak, they've won 2 golds in the San Francisco World Spirits Award. So again, this stuff is starting to get some popularity, and it's coming out of a cool area. It's coming out of Maryland, and you don't really get too many distilleries. They have Natty Boh, they got some other cool stuff that comes from Maryland, but you don't really think of any kind of distillate, spirit like whiskey or bourbon or whatever coming out of Baltimore, Maryland. So the bottle, we'll talk about it. I think it's Ultimate Maryland. Look at that, the top right there has resemblance of the Maryland flag. It's got some diamonds. The bottle itself is this really cool hexagon shape. It definitely sticks out on a shelf. It's really pretty, pretty flashy. It's very on brand for someone who owns Under Armour as the benefactor of this distillery. So, and the other cool thing is a lot of their resources they use are locally sourced from farms surrounding in Maryland, and the water they use comes directly from the Sagamore farm for the distillate. So we'll talk about this. Nose, I get some rye spice, get some caramel. It smells super sweet. Again, we talked about that with double oaked. It's going to be much sweeter, which is great for a rye because I'm not, I'm one of those people who are not really deeply into ryes. They're very hit or miss for me. They're very similar to what IPAs are in the beer world. It's either you hate them or you don't. And there's people who are deep, super nerdy into ryes, and there's other people who just could care less. So, all right, now let's get some fruit, some cinnamon, some tobacco. Again, it's very sweet on the nose. Taste, to get toffee, some chocolate, like really ripe fruit and cherry, and it kind of reminds me of the cherries you get on Christmas that have the filling, the maraschino cherry, the chocolate cherries. Really nice, and it has really nice finish at the end for a 96 proof. You kind of get that tobacco, rye spice towards at the end, and it's kind of that nice dry taste that from what you get from a wine, if you're like a cab or something like that. So really good, very smooth, very approachable for a rye. So if you're looking to get into a rye, this would be a good start. Price point, I give it an 8. This is definitely a $55 bottle. This is what I paid. This is the retail. Taste, I give it a 8.5. So overall, I think this is an 8.5. This is a very good rye, very drinkable, sippable. It's a great dessert rye. It's very sweet. Again, it's very approachable because most ryes are pretty aggressive. So I appreciate it, guys. We'll talk soon, and we'll holler at you later.